Hey Jill, how are you?
Hey, Zelena, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I've got my
Your tea, your
coffee.
coffee? Yeah, great. And I've got mine.
Yes, excellent. So how's it going in Sydney?
So it's really interesting. I think if you'd asked me that question 2.5 weeks ago when the proverbial first hit the fan, um, I was feeling pretty different to now. And I think when it really started to become clear that things were going downhill pretty quickly, um, I noticed that day, I think a big piece of work that we were working on got pushed out. And I noticed I started to have a headache. And within 6 hours, I was vomiting uncontrollably with a migraine and sort of
Oh,
ended up in hospital later that day,
oh
which,
no.
which to be honest, is a pretty standard stress response for me. In response to a really big thing, my body kind of goes into, are you kidding, aren't you? And it was really interesting because I think, so this happens on the Wednesday. On the Friday, I'm meant to be at this big webinar on resilience, which is such an ironic thing because I'm in a hospital going, who the hell am I to be talking about resilience if I can't even keep it together on a bad day, right? And and it was really interesting because I think what I learnt about that situation was, 10 years ago, if I went back and I had that experience, I would have been wobbly and sick for maybe 2 weeks. And what was really interesting for me to observe was, so I'm in hospital, I'm giving myself this hard time, and then I noticed myself giving myself a hard time.
Mm.
Wow, look at that. You're really beating up on yourself right now. Do you reckon that's really helpful? And my inner voice is going, no, not so helpful. And so I was able in that moment to go, okay, just stop. This is what it is. Just get through this hospital experience. We'll see what happens next.
Mm.
And it's really interesting. So I got home, I stayed overnight, got home the next day, had a good night's sleep the following night. And then I had to get up and do this resilience program webinar. And in that moment, I'm kind of chuckling to myself going, oh my God, if only they knew what's just happened to me in the last 48 hours. And so there was a kind of sense of self-compassion, but also this sense of common humanity, right? We're all in this together. This is a big wobble for everyone. And so I think what I learned out of that experience was this idea of resilience as being never having a wobble, I think is bollocks. Like resilience is that's like saying courage is the absence of fear. I think resilience is your ability to notice a wobble and to rebalance and as quickly and as kindly as you can. And I think that's been really interesting. So now I actually feel like I've got more space to deal with whatever comes. I've been able to accept, there's some things that I expected would happen in 2020. Apparently that's not going to be the year for that. But let's see what happens next. I'm in a much more kind of open space. And I think that's about the kindness and the ability to kind of notice, both in my body and in my mind, when I'm starting to lose it and course correct more quickly.
Yeah, no, I can totally appreciate that. As you and I been speaking to a lot of leaders and a lot of teams and individuals about resilience, one of the things I've always said to people is, as a concept, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Many of us get it intellectually, but it's really important to personalize what resilience means for you. And you've done that in this
Yeah.
sharing, right? Which is noticing the pattern, noticing what your stress reactions are,
Yeah.
in your body, right? Then secondly, choosing to be kind, not to be judgmental, or self-critical.
Yeah.
We are often the hardest on ourselves, right? Especially at a time like this.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the third thing is, being able to narrow that gap, right? In terms of having greater speed to attend to the wobble,
Yeah.
right? And to recover and choose to be resilient and to bounce back from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that we're all human.
we are.
That
We are.
to be unsettled by what's going on would be inhuman right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, cut ourselves some slack.
Thank you. And here's a virtual hug.
Thank you. Back at ya.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.